the right time to consume them in terms of pre-post?
Good question. So, if supplements is such a vast topic, so a question was, what's the right time to consume a supplement?
Now, specific calcium.
You're asking about calcium?
Yes.
Okay. So calcium, basically calcium, we know that first there's a competition of calcium with other divalent minerals, which is the 2+ ion, which could be magnesium, it could be zinc. Now manufacturers have done a CalMag zinc in proper proportion. So ideally speaking, it depends on how we want to use it and which. So for calcium, I have read enough of research papers to say that when I take my decision, I do no more than 500 milligrams of calcium per dosage. And what I do is a lot of people recommend it on an empty stomach. I am of a different school which says, give it with your food. Give it with your food. Let me explain why. Today, we do not know whether our parlor, which is stated to have calcium, when you go online and say, spinach, how much of calcium? Dates, how much of calcium? Do you think every date in the world has the same amount of calcium? No. So the point is, it's a guesstimation. So what my logic is, when I give a supplement, I would give 500 milligrams of calcium with my meal, I would do it 3 times a day. And I would go to studies which say, do not give more than 1.5 to 2,000 milligrams per day because that's sufficient. Once I start doing this, because the person is bio-individual, I start doing a blood test. Before I give the calcium, is calcium levels low? Is vitamin D levels low? Is vitamin K levels low? If these are low, then you're coming to the protocol to prescribe a calcium supplementation. Otherwise, I still go to nutrition. My curd, my milk, my cheese, my sources of that. So there is a final confusion in the calcium scenario. A lot of people say calcium is best absorbed towards the night time. There's so much of research out there. I'm telling you that even my mother is an expert on nutrition. And so is your mother. So I always look at 1 month, I do something, and I see how it is. The first question is, how do you feel? Then look at diagnostics if the person can afford the blood test. And if the person can really afford it for about 20, 25, 30,000 rupees, I do the gene test. Because if the calcium gene is deficient, then I'm focusing only on a high calcium diet. So that's your specific question for calcium. The rest of the supplements, like that, you have a pre, during, and post workout. There's one thing that I would give to you if you're a physiotherapist or you're a trainer. When you're doing your session, there is dynamic breakdown of microscopic tissue. During that period, there's a dynamic recovery. Healing is happening. It needs raw materials. If your bloodstream 1 hour before can have a proper meal or a supplement, during the workout, I love to give omega-3, anti-inflammatory. I love to give amino acids, chiefly the amino acids which make up your skeletal muscle. Your skeletal muscle is 60% glutamine, 35% branched-chain amino acid. So these 4 guys, leucine, isoleucine, valine, and glutamine, make up your muscle structure. Why not add 5 grams of all of these guys in a nimbu pani whilst that person is undergoing a rehab session? Why not? Because you know that muscle damage is happening. You want to not lose muscle, because I believe when a person comes for a rehab session, they're actually doing a sports training session. Because that's still physically, unless it's a passive session. So that's something that I would do. I would do the omega-3s post the session. Research has shown that some of the best bioavailable proteins is whey protein, soya protein, milk protein, casein protein. If the person is too obese, too overweight, I tend to not use proteins. I tend to use free-form amino acids. And then you have a whole list of antioxidants, which are A, C, E, and selenium. These have to be very high. So I try and give my antioxidants pre-session, just from a premise saying that some amount of kujli is going to happen when you're going in for rehab. Because that kujli is happening, let me have my raw material armed forces battling it in this person's blood. And that's how